Good morning, children. I just woke up. How are you today? I think I'm doing fine. I haven't decided yet because coffee hasn't entered my system yet. It is still too hot, so I must sniff it to make up for that fact. Okay, let it cool. So this is a review of Hank Green's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. This is one I actually read in December, but I didn't really do a wrap up for that month because after the Tis the Season readathon, I had no time to read like anything. So I'm just gonna kind of catch you guys up on that. I read An Absolutely Remarkable Thing in like the last week of December. So it's close enough. It's still fresh in my mind to review. Honestly, for this one, I don't think I could have reviewed right away because I had to process in my mind a bit first before coming up with an actual rating. This one for me was only a 3-star read, and I'm just gonna kind of go through why, the pros, and the cons. So let's start out with the pros. The first star it got goes to plot. Essentially, all over the world, these giant robots in samurai suits appear in like all of the biggest cities of the world, and they're just standing there. It's passed off as art until people start realizing that they don't really have footage of these things getting installed or being built or anything. They just kind of suddenly appeared. The first person to find this and to go viral on YouTube with it is April May, which terrible name. And she becomes an overnight celebrity, makes a ton of money off of her views, and kind of throughout her own determination and need to be the headliner, becomes the headliner and like the spokesperson for these Carls. From that, more events start happening, which points more and more to it being an extraterrestrial event. And then more things are revealed. There's not a lot of plot whenever it does come to the Carls, which is what the robots are called. It morely focuses on April May and her rise to fame, which I think is a very interesting aspect. It's obviously a first contact book with aliens. It focuses more on people's reactions to it than the actual event taking place. In that, I think it was incredibly realistic, where people started to have split opinions on it, and fights would break out, and things would become political. I thought that was done incredibly realistically. I think the descriptions of rises to fame and like showing consequences was all realistic. So I liked that. So second star is for importance, and I do think this book is important, as in it does have something good to say, which is kind of an analytical look on the side of fame and the consequences that come with that, especially in today's society when people are getting so passionate about opinions and almost to the point of violence. And it shows that want for fame, and it shows that when you are in the spotlight, everything you say and do can have mega consequences to it. And this is showed to the extreme when thought I was gonna spoil it, didn't you? Not here. Not here. Even pre-coffee me wouldn't do such a terrible thing. The other star that this book got was only one for character. As you guys know, I always reserve 2 stars to go to character because that's the most important aspect of the book. And for that one, I only gave it 1 star because April May, though terrible name, is a very well-developed character in the fact that she does have development through it. It is a coming-of-age story, and it is definitely a learning experience for her. The whole story is kind of written in a storytelling way, as in it's the lead, April May, who is talking about it like it already happened. And with that, she is able to look back and see a lot of mistakes that were made and a lot of things that she wishes she had done differently. Now, this adds to a lot of self-deprecating humor, which I really loved. And honestly, I think if we would have followed April May in the moment, I would have hated this book a lot because she made some really bad choices. So seeing it from her looking back at her choices made it so much better and made her seem like a better developed character, as in you can see that she has learned, and I really liked that. The 1 star I took away for characters is mainly because everybody else is as dull as dirt. I don't think they have anything going for them other than they all kind of have a crush on her, or they're like just totally evil. And that's really it. There's not much on the other characters. But the whole time I was reading, I just saw April May moving about among these cardboard cutout people, and that was funny, but it's not what was going on, so I couldn't give that a star. I can't even elaborate on that because there's literally nothing else to say. The other star that I took off for it was for emotion. It didn't invoke anything in me, not even like a chuckle, really. It was more of like one of those breathe out of the nose laughs whenever you're reading, you're just like, I wasn't happy for the character when she succeeded, and I wasn't sad for the character whenever she failed. Once again, that kind of has to do with the looking back narration that was going on. I wasn't really in the moment, which, as I said before, I'm glad I wasn't in the moment. But since I wasn't in the moment, I couldn't really rejoice or be sad with the character in her endeavors. And as for the other ones, I don't care. With that, I am really glad that I read this book. I'm really glad that this is actually going to be a series because there's definitely a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things I do want to know. I'm hoping that the series does continue to get better with each book, so I'm looking forward to that. So you'll be hearing more on that in the future, hopefully. I feel like this one has been getting a lot of hype lately, and mainly because I think it is Hank Green. I think if he didn't have the Green name, that this book would have flown under the radar quite a bit. I still would have enjoyed it as much. I still recommend it. Definitely not for like hardcore sci-fi, and definitely not for hardcore contemporary. I guess it's for the more fluid reader. Anyways, that was An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. Do check it out. Hope you all have a good day. I'll see you next time. Later, taters.